Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me in the back? Okay, welcome. Everyone, welcome to the 2025 Carstairs Municipal Candidates Forum. My name is John Cole, and I am the Curator Manager at the Carstairs Heritage Center. I will be your moderator this evening. Before we go over the rules, I would like to take some time to thank the Chamber of Commerce for organizing the event. Likewise, I'd like to thank the Carstairs Library for providing AV. And I would like to support our timekeeper, or say thank you to our timekeeper, and I would also like to say thank you to everybody who took time to submit questions for our candidates today. Tonight, I will be presenting questions to our candidates that have been submitted by the citizens of Carstairs. We hope that you understand that we cannot ask every question that was submitted due to the large amount of candidates that we have and the small amount of time. At this event, you can see that we have 16 candidates. We've got 2 for mayor, 11 for council, we've got 3 school trustees, and we've got 1 candidate who sends their regrets. So everybody deserves an equal chance to speak, but due to limited time, it's going to be important that everyone follows the rules so everybody has a chance to be heard. So with that, we would like to remind people, and this means everyone, including folks in the audience, to show some respect and intellectual hospitality to our speakers tonight. This means listening and not objecting or calling out to them as they speak. Of course, it's a democracy. You are welcome to disagree, but we please encourage you to be silent until after the event, and you can air your disagreements on your own time. The candidates have drawn, oh, and one more thing I've got written here in big red. Could you please turn your phones to silent? Could you please turn your phones to silent? Okay. The candidates have drawn an order for speaking prior to the event. First, we'll have the mayoral candidates, and then we will ask the same questions for the candidates for council. And then after their question period is over, we'll ask them to leave, and then we'll call up our school trustee candidates. Everyone will have 1 minute to make a statement, and then likewise, they will have 1 minute to answer every question. So like I said, they do not have a lot of time, so I encourage you to listen respectfully and not make too much noise while they're talking so that your neighbors can listen. I will stop you when your time limit is over. Please keep your eye on the timekeeper. She'll give you a warning when you have 20 seconds left. That is a good time to wrap up. You don't score extra points for squeezing in extra things to say. Derailing questions will not be tolerated. So I will do my best to keep a positive focus on you. If you can do your best to make sure that I speak as little as possible. Before we get started, I would just like to share information or a statement from our candidate, Tom Humphrey, who deeply regrets that he cannot attend the candidate forum due to a long-standing work commitment. He values the opportunity to engage with the community and to share views and to listen to what citizens have to say. Tom is dedicated to transparent, accountable government and ensuring Carstairs residents have a voice in town matters. Tom's commitment to maintaining our high-quality standard of life and support safe, vibrant public spaces and cultural events. Tom looks forward to responding to tonight's questions on social media, so look for that, and he encourages you to vote tomorrow at our early voting and on election day, October 20th. And just like that, I am done, and I would like to turn things over to our first speaker with his statement, Mr. Eric Fester, a candidate for mayor.
Hello, my name is Eric Fester. I was born on the family farm just west of town here, and I've been involved in the community for 45 years. I did my schooling here. I played all my minor sports here. My main goals for running for mayor are more transparency in our meetings, more transparency in our hiring policy, more transparency in our communications. I want to work on the affordability by doing a study to see where our meetings are, and I want to work on the accountability of the town in our communication and how we interact with the community.
Next up, we've got our candidate for mayor, Mr. Dean.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. Those who don't know, my name is Dr. Dean Allen. I'm ready to be the mayor of Carstairs. My wife Bonnie and I, children, have lived in Carstairs for the last 19 years. I opened my first clinic out of my house in 2008 and full-time for 2009. Been heavily involved in the community since moving here, helping coach soccer, baseball, hockey, and being a part of various other community groups. I was also the parent chair for the original Carstairs Elementary School. We built the original playground. I've been on town council now for 4 terms, seen on most of the committees at one time or another. The last 4 years I've spent as the deputy mayor. It's a true honor for me to be doing that. I'm proud of the fact that we've town substantial, town's growing at a substantial pace, even with the infrastructure. They've done many studies on road infrastructure. I think which is fantastic for the town, so a good part. We put a lot of work into this future residential and commercial. One thing I believe in is full communication. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Cameron Tolley.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cameron Tolley. I'm a proud Canadian Forces veteran, father of 2 amazing kids that go to school here in town, and a resident of Carstairs since 2017. First, I do want to sincerely thank outgoing Mayor Lance Colby and Councillor Marty Ratz for their years of service and dedication to this town. So thank you guys. I'm running because I believe Carstairs needs to focus on reasonable growth over rapid growth. Growth should be strategic, not driven by developers chasing profits. We need to slow the pace of residential development, raise our building standards, and protect the identity of our small town. We need to prioritize improving and developing recreation spaces and facilities for amenities of all Carstairs citizens of all ages. Opportunities for diverse activities from pickleball to basketball, volleyball, soccer, lacrosse need to be prioritized. This town should have an outdoor skating rink, not just a flooded patch of dirt at the rodeo grounds. Kids deserve better. We all deserve better in that regards, and that's what I'm here to fight for. And that's why I'm running for
Thank you,
council.
Cameron. Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Glenda Alexander.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to the Chamber for organizing this event and all of you for attending to gather information before electing your new council. I may have met you already while out door knocking, but if not, who am I and what do I stand for? I moved to Carstairs in 2013 and immediately fell in love with this beautiful little community. I've always had a desire to participate in municipal council, but thought it was best for me to know the community first. There are 2 of 6 seats coming available requiring new representation, so I thought this was an opportune time for me to offer my knowledge and experience. Prior to moving to Carstairs, I served 9 years on municipal council, 2004 to 13. And during my tenure, I served 18 months as deputy mayor, chaired almost every board, was liaison with the provincial and federal governments to successfully lobby for funding supports. This experience will allow me to immediately participate in council deliberations, providing valuable input and decision-making. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Angie Frick.
I'm a born and raised Albertan, and since 2011, I've been proud to call Carstairs home. My husband and I chose this community for its welcoming spirit, safe neighborhoods, and strong sense of belonging. In 2021, I was honored to be elected to town council, and serving this community has been one of the greatest privileges of my life. Over the past 4 years, I've focused on sustainable growth, supporting local businesses, advocating for seniors, and ensuring families and youth have the opportunities they need to thrive. Every decision I make is guided by one simple principle: putting Carstairs first. I bring over 18 years of a proven leadership from senior management boardrooms to grassroots operation. As a certified project management professional and a Lean Six Sigma leader, I focus on efficiency, accountability, and delivering results that matter. My vision is to build a strong, balanced, and connected community. Thank you.
Next, we have a candidate for councillor, Jennifer Messel.
Good evening. Volunteering is a great way to meet people and become involved and connected in a new community. We moved a lot when our kids were younger, and once we settled somewhere, I always picked an organization to volunteer with. I grew up in Carstairs, and this was no different when we moved back 4 years ago to raise our family. I began to volunteer with Sunday school and with a youth group where I still volunteer. And then 2 years ago, I was elected as president of the Hugh Sutherland School Enhancement Foundation. 4 years ago, I started working for a company out of Calgary as their record of contact and land analyst. They're a small company with big vision, and I've learned a lot from them about what is required to be part of an effective team. I've learned how to pivot when things don't go as planned, how to always strive for excellence.
Thank you.
And really important.
That's fast. Next we have our candidate for Councillor Rhonda Kramer Wise.
Thank you. My name is Rhonda Kramer Wise, a longtime resident of Carstairs. I was on council 2007 to 2011. That experience has given me the knowledge and understanding of the process to make necessary changes. Where there is no growth, we become stagnant. I have great passion for this town. Let us make policies that stand for you. I will oversee the budget, preserve and represent the entire town. We need educated public servants, hiring doctors, police, teachers, who are valued and wish to come here. We all know the RCMP peace officers will need a building which is required by law. Residents are looking for work, a place to live which is strongly connected to Canadian culture. We need affordable housing for young families and seniors. The process is to be open, to hear personal stories, to slow down, make your decisions. Vote Kramer Wise, October 20th.
Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Shannon Wilcox.
Thank you. The decisions we make today will define the Carstairs we'll live in tomorrow. Good evening, friends and neighbors. My name is Shannon Wilcox, and it's been an honor to serve as one of your town councillors for the last 8 years. Carstairs is my home. It is where I choose to raise my family. I've worked to be a steady, thoughtful voice of leadership, one that listens, collaborates, and makes data-driven decisions with care and accountability. I'm also personally actively engaged in our community, rolling up my sleeves alongside you at events, youth programs, and seniors gatherings. With a strong background in business management and community services, I know it's not just about where we live, but about how we live. My municipal experience spanning 8 years, I am also a strong advocate for Carstairs, ensuring our voice is heard where it matters most. With your continued support, I'll keep working hard for you, leading with care, dedication, and accountability, planning today, protecting tomorrow. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Rose Warden.
Good evening. Hello, everyone. My previous experience, I'm a state baking instructor for the School of Hospitality and Tourism, a commercial property manager, a small business owner, and a tradesperson. My current involvement, I'm a volunteer board director for the Carstairs Historical Society. I'm a planning committee member for the Carstairs Egg Society Beef and Barley Days, and client intake postpartum support worker for Families Matter Society. I was born in Calgary, raised on a Delacour acreage. Carstairs has been my home since 2013. I'm family orientated and proud mom of 2 vibrant children. I love Carstairs because I can trust my neighbors with my life, and I can trust my children with them too as well. This community has given back so much to me and has become like family, and I want to give back more than I take. I thank everyone here for joining us here today. I stand for building community and a sense of connection by drawing the two together, inviting people, and creating. I just want everyone to get along.
Next up, we have our candidate for council, Jerry Roberts.
Hi, it's been a privilege to serve on council. As a leader of community development for many years, I'm a past president of the Agricultural Society. I've been on skate park committee where we raised $400,000. I've been on various town committees from fiber optics to doctor attraction long before I was a councillor. I'm on the Carstairs Nature Space Committee. Since 2018, we have raised $300,000 and planted thousands of trees. I'm a board member of the Regional Water Commission. I want to continue to use my engineering background with this water supply group. We have a very robust asset management system at the town of Carstairs. This allows us to stay on top of replacement and repair of the assets from recreation to infrastructure. We've done many critical studies such as growth and housing needs to name a couple. We are a growing and vibrant community. I want to continue to be part of the leadership of our community. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Sarah Salander.
Good evening, neighbors and friends. Carstairs isn't a bedroom community. It's where families thrive, volunteers pour their hearts into events, and neighbors look out for one another. My name is Dara Salanders, second generation Carstairs resident, mom, real estate agent, landlord, and business owner. Most importantly, I'm one of you. For years, I've watched council follow directions, avoid tough conversations, and make too many decisions behind closed doors. That's not the leadership Carstairs deserves. We need open, transparent voices at the table. Voices that ask uncomfortable questions and put community first. Growth is coming, but quality must come before quantity. Let's plan wisely for businesses, variety in housing options, and opportunities that truly serve residents. I built my life here. I volunteered alongside many of you, and I believe in this town's future. I'm ready to listen, to lead, and to help Carstairs grow with heart and vision.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Cameron Paul.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. My wife, daughter, and I moved to Carstairs last year. We quickly knew this was home. It's the kind of town where neighbors look out for each other and where my daughter will grow up with a real sense of belonging. Coming into this election as a new guy without a political background, I've been asked many times why I'm qualified to run for council. My answer is simple. My qualifications are like yours. I'm a parent, a neighbor, and someone who cares about this community. I work hard, I contribute, and I want to make sure the money we put forward is used in the best way possible on the things that matter most. That's why through this campaign, my wife and I went door to door, not only to share information, but to listen. Hearing your questions, concerns, and ideas has helped me understand what truly matters in our community. Those conversations are what I'll carry with me if elected to council. Thank you.
Finally, we have our counselor, or candidate for council, Sheldon Ball.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come out and listen to us tonight. My wife Deborah and I moved to Carstairs 30 years ago, and in the last 30 years, I have served our community as a counselor for 16 years and as a school trustee for 4. It's been an honor and a privilege to do that. And I'm seeking re-election because we have some significant projects coming up in the near future that I think experience is going to make a difference on. We need to look at our policing and what's going to be happening with that and how we reach 5,000 people. We need to look at what our future expansion looks like and what's the best place to go. And finally, we need to figure out how to have a place for our seniors to live when they reach that point where they can't stay on their own. So that's why I'm seeking re-election, and I would hope that I would have your support to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that concludes our statements, our opening statements. We will move now into our question period. These questions were submitted by Carstairs citizens. The first question, I will read it twice. The mayors will answer, then I'll read it once more, and then the councilors will answer. So the question is, in Carstairs, the majority of municipal taxes come from residential property owners, while the commercial and industrial tax base remains small. How would you approach balancing the tax burden between residents and businesses? And what strategies would you use to support and grow our commercial tax base? So that question again is, in Carstairs, the majority of municipal taxes come from residential property owners, while the commercial and industrial tax base remains small. How would you approach balancing the tax burden between residents and businesses? And what strategies would you support to grow our commercial tax base? First will be our candidate for mayor, Eric Bester.
I feel that this is a relatively simple approach. We have to approach developers and businesses to attract them to town with tax incentives. We are not getting commercial taxes to begin with right now, so we're not really gambling with a lot on that front to give them commercial tax breaks for the first couple of years that they come to town. I think that would entice people to come here, open businesses, and build a commercial tax base for the future.
Next is our candidate for mayor, Dean Allen.
So with the commercial taxes, as the town grows and we hit that magic 5,000 mark, we'll start seeing more and more commercial businesses start coming to town, which we've noticed with the independent grocery store, the Shoppers Drug Mart coming in, and some of the other businesses are slowly starting to come. With residential, we know we do pay most of the taxes. Over time here, we'll be getting that commercial growth that will happen. I'm not a fan of giving incentives to businesses to for tax breaks. I think as we grow, they're gonna come anyway. We need to have that as the commercial comes, we'll take care of everything else.
Excellent. I will pose this question one more time to remind the councilors. In Carstairs, the majority of municipal taxes come from residential property owners, while the commercial and industrial tax base remains small. How would you approach balancing the tax burden between residents and businesses? And what strategies would you support to grow our commercial tax base? First is our candidate for council, Cameron Tolley.
Thank you. I think above all else, our residential to non-residential tax ratio is about to improve. When planning new communities, there has to be a piece of it to carve away for that commercial growth. We have a lot of new developments coming in and not a ton of commercial development. Enhanced marketing of Carstairs. I'm a big sports guy, so I've always been a proponent of showcasing our town with those tournaments, and seeing all the people that come in and say we have these wonderful facilities, and allowing that to grow as well.
Next, we have our candidate for councilor, Glenda Alexander.
Thank you very much. So it is understandable that residential growth will eventually bring commercial growth. It's important for council members to feel comfortable and be excited about approaching those retail, industrial, and commercial businesses that will move into our community. With the proper amount of growth and happy residents, those businesses will be interested in moving to our community. It's our responsibility as a council to let them know about the opportunities, and they will come. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Angie Frick.
So Carstairs has seen a 20% increase in businesses over the past 4 years, showing that there's confidence in our local economy, as well as our location along the QE2 economic corridor positions us well between major markets. And with a population over 5,000 people, we now meet key thresholds that attract new investments. Our commercial and industrial tax base is 8%. For reference, Penhold is 10%, Chestermere is 5%, and Airdrie is 13%. So we're right in the middle, and we have room to improve. Public data like our municipal census and rural studies help demonstrate that Carstairs is a strong and sustainable place to invest. It should also be noted that 37% of your taxes is downloaded to us by the province and the federal government, in which municipalities have no say. We are also the only level of government that is required to balance the budget, and we cannot carry a deficit. Thank you.
Next, we have a candidate for council, Jennifer Nassau.
I believe we're starting to see the benefits of growth in Carstairs with the addition of the independent grocers and newer businesses downtown and the Shoppers Drug Mart on the way. I understand that developers have land already set aside for commercial and industrial use. I believe that a beautiful, well-kept town and great local events attract home buyers, and home buyers bring that larger population that attract future businesses, which will in turn ease the tax burden. So I believe Carstairs is moving in the right direction, and we are set up to see more businesses start to come year over year. Thank you. Didn't get fun stuff.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Rhonda Kramer Wise.
Hi, everyone. We all know that we need light industry to come into our town. We have to be very careful of just whoever comes in here. But what we do need is that secondary income. And in this day and age, we have people that are working, and then the mother or the father needs another income within our town. We don't have that base yet for commercial. And that's what I would be looking for, is to have those come in that are going to open up venues that people can actually work. And not only them, but the students. And the students that are young adults that are coming out of grade 12, they're having a place to go. So what I'm saying is that we have to be very careful of the interference by the government, the municipal government actually ends up downloading a lot of things that are coming from the province and the federal government. So we have all these things to take care of, but the commercial growth is imperative.
Thank you, Rhoda. Next, we have our candidate for council, Shannon Wilcox.
I think as a council, we need to be strategic about who it is that we are attracting to town. I think when we're looking at residential development, we've had huge success, for instance, in our Kidstone development, where we had a $2.7 million investment into our reservoir. That's the kind of business investment we want to see in town. That relieves your tax burden as well. I think that we don't just want anybody here, we want people who truly want to be enmeshed in our community. So I think first, let's be thoughtful about who it is that we want to be here. And then I think we leverage where we are. We are on the 2 corridor. We are now over 5,000 population. That means that we have a sustainable customer base as well as an employee base. So I think that's really important as well. I think the more that we understand our advantages, the more we can sell ourselves appropriately. I think also the more that we support the local economy that exists, the more that that will drive other investments here as well. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Rose Gordon.
So as a counselor, one thing that we do have influences is in zoning. So thinking about what areas are we setting aside for future commercial space and being mindful of what spaces are designated for commercial. Another idea I had was really incorporating the youth into teaching them about business. They're our future generation. What can we show our youth? How can we integrate mentorship opportunities for those that are experienced with business, ensuring the younger generations here and how to do business? A third idea I had was collaborating with the Carstairs Chamber of Commerce. As a counselor, we can approve of funding towards the Chamber of Commerce. We can help support and help them encourage and bring in more programs which can help build our existing business, promote our existing business. For example, helping businesses with their search engine optimization, you know, giving feedback and things like that. So I think the chamber, being a volunteer organization,
Thank
is
you.
really crucial to our role here in town.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Jerry Roberts.
We have land available for commercial development. We've just recently completed a study to tell us how much more land we need. We have some newer developers that are interested in doing commercial development here. We are in the sweet spot in central Alberta here in the corridor. We can work with economic development associations across central Alberta to attract businesses to us. As well, our job is to provide info on site selection sites for people that are looking to come to Carstairs, so they know what we have for labor, for housing, for land. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Dara Salanders.
This is a topic that I can speak on for days. And it is my opinion that industrial development is the most impactful way that we can bring more tax dollars to our community. I have seen the growth studies that came out this year that show the future development of this town. And future commercial growth is quite a ways out, and that's disappointing. I would like to see some targets for these developers to bring that online sooner. And that's going to give us some variety in our tax base, some variety in employment options for our people. And in commercial development, we need to attract bigger business.
Thank you, Dara. Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Cameron Fall.
Small business is the backbone of Carstairs. Council can help shape the long-term plan of business success through smart planning, through fair bylaws, and growth that makes sense for our community. That means keeping land use bylaws up to date, making sure zoning works for both residents and business owners, and supporting all types of businesses from home-based to industrial. We also need to attract new businesses intentionally to have the right mix that builds service gaps rather than duplicating what we already have. There's also means of having land ready and zoned for development with water, sewage, and roads in place. and promoting Carstairs as a good place to do business.
Thank you, Cameron. Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Sheldon Ball.
So you've already heard that we're starting to see some of that commercial growth happen, as you've seen with the independent grocers and new shoppers coming to town. We also need to continue to work with our developers that have already slated land that they have available to start encouraging them to build some of that commercial industrial areas, so that you've heard, if you build it, they will come. So if we work with them, get that stuff happening, and then again, promoting our location, we're located strategically close to Calgary and Airdrie, strategically close to Red Deer, and really close to the Highway 2 corridor, which I think gives us a huge advantage over a lot of the communities around us. And we just need to continue to work on promoting that and working with our developers to build those areas.
Thank you. So I would just like to remind the candidates and encourage them to hold the microphone close to their mouths and to project while they speak, so that the people in the back can hear them most. So just a reminder to project your voice and to speak directly into the microphone. Thank you. I will then ask the next question twice for the mayoral candidates and repeat it once again for the councillors. You all know the drill. So council has referred to keeping Carstairs a small town or keeping its rural charm. While respecting the Municipal Government Act, how do you intend to do that? And what has the previous sitting council done that has not been in step with responsible growth? So that question again is, council has referred to keeping Carstairs a small town or keeping its rural charm. While respecting the Municipal Government Act, how do you intend to do that? And what has the previous sitting council done that has not been in step with responsible growth?
Having worked with multiple volunteer organizations in this community, I can say that in the past 4 years, I have noticed a definite lack of communication to the volunteer organizations in the community and a willingness to work with them. And the volunteer organizations are the backbone of keeping this small town of ours small. And the volunteers are tired and not being heard anymore. And that's a big part of keeping this community.
Next, we have our candidate for mayor, Dean Allen.
With the growth of Carstairs, keeping it a small town, we've done numerous growth studies involving infrastructure, population, residential, type of stuff. We're growing sustainably. We are growing. The population coming out of this province is massive. So we're doing the best we can to keep the town growing at a slower rate. Our infrastructure is up to date. We don't have an infrastructure deficit, which is very important. Councilors work very hard to try and keep this town as a small town on a small town feel. Our staff keep it to the parks looking fantastic. Our staff keep the parks and the infrastructure going well. I think we're on the right track. We're working very well with everybody to keep us going. Growth is inevitable. You just have to keep it slow down a bit. It will happen. The whole idea is just to keep everything properly moving. Thank you.
Okay, I will repeat the question once more for our councillor candidates. So it says here, council has referred to keeping Carstairs a small town or keeping its rural charm. While respecting the Municipal Government Act, how do you intend to do that? And what has the previous sitting council done that has not been in step with responsible growth?
This is primarily the reason I decided to run for council. I think we have too much development residentially going on right now. You look around, there's 4 or 5 major developments going full steam. To me, that's too much. To me, it leads to, inadequacies in the development, it's like we're rushing to get all these houses in. I believe that the previous council was very excited to have the opportunity to develop, and to me, it's just too much, too fast. Parks, pathways, infrastructure, everything is gonna have to catch up, and I don't wanna be there 4 years down the road with 1,500 new people in town, and you can't do anything anymore because there's too many people here. So I think we need to slow it down. And I think what we have is plenty. Let's work on what's being developed now, and let's try not to approve too much.
Thank you, Kevin.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Glenda Alexander.
Thank you very much. This is really an important, question, because I think that development is inevitable. Carstairs has become the community of choice. We're on the QE2. We're halfway between Red Deer and Calgary. So growth is inevitable, but I think that what we can do is we can, all support, well-planned communities that include strategically placed businesses, as well as keep our industry on our commercial areas outside so that they quick. And then as well, just to keep our community engaged, I think that we need to continue to hold these incredible events that we support every year, our Heritage Days, our Beef and Barley Days, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Angie Frick.
This is something I heard a lot when I was seeing and talking to residents, is wanting to keep Carstairs a small town, but I could ask anybody in this room and everybody will have a different definition of what a size a small town is. So a small town is, to me, is not a number, it's defined by our strength, our unity, and truly our people. We are in an incredible position where a community where people want to live and developers want to build. That's a good place to be, especially as an example, there's a community just north of us that has to pay developers $10,000 a house just to build. Growth supports our local businesses and keeps our community vibrant, but it has to be managed responsibly. We've updated our offstate levy so developers pay their fair share. Our growth and housing assessment also identified the need for more diverse housing options for young adults starting out and seniors looking to downsize. The goal is balanced growth that strengthens our economy while keeping the small town character people love about Carstairs. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Jennifer Masson.
I believe that Carstairs is working towards sustainable and well-planned growth. I do believe that a small town feel has more to do with the residents and the people that are involved in the community than it does necessarily the size. And so I really believe that we have great events in our town, and we have a lot of wonderful volunteers that help to draw people in, and our library does a great job of advertising and hosting events for people to be involved in. And so I believe that those are the things that even as we grow, we will continue to feel like a close-knit small town.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Rhonda Kramer Wise.
Hi, everyone. I believe that we have to have vision. And I believe that the council has been doing this. They have vision for the next 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years down the road. That vision has to incorporate new industry. I just would like to say that we celebrate Carstairs with our annual neighborhood party, Beef and Barley Days, 4-H show and sale, horticultural show, drive-in movie, pumpkin festival, Canada Day celebrations, Carstairs annual Christmas craft sale, Santa's Gone Money, and much more, all sponsored by the town. So these things that we are doing already keep us small and united. We also have a lot of people coming into our town to use our sports facilities. That's good. And baseball diamonds and our hockey rinks. And the beauty that our town has is so conducive to being like in your own home, where we have all these beautiful plants.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Sorry.
That's a tough job. All right, next we have our candidate for council, Shannon Wilcox.
Thank you. I know development brings mixed emotions, certainly, and development is inevitable. The MGA actually states that we cannot hard cap development, so what we have to do is strategically plan for it. And I believe that's what councils of past and future will continue to do. Certainly, the developers that we're attracting to town are bringing resources, like I had mentioned, the $2.7 million that they put towards our water reservoir. I think what we want to do is be careful about who we are attracting, so we can look at some of our rec facilities and see how they too could be contributing to some of those, thereby relieving our tax burden. I think in regards to our rural charm, I wish that I could govern that. I wish that council could say that that's how we stay. That's not the role of council, that's the role of all of us. It's how we choose to engage in our community every single day. So the good news is, that's up to us. So thank you.
Next, we've got our candidate for council, Rose Warden.
So first question, how do we maintain rural charm? I would love to. I love Beef and Barley Days. I think it's one of the greatest events here that we have in town. It really brings a mark to our town. So I think that's a great opportunity for volunteerism. As a counselor, we can support that further by offering sources of funding. There's something called Family Community Support Services. It's an 80-20 partnership between the municipal government and the provincial government. So we can, they will fund up to 80% and we would give 20% to help. So things like that can help bolster this sense of community feel. As far as developments, some of these development plans have been in place since 2009. So far long ago. For example, Kidstone Commons, that plan was in place in 2009 already. That seed was planted way back then. So moving forward, what can we do? I think we can plan more responsibly. I've talked to some residents where in more areas where it's more dense and there's not enough parking. So as a
Thank you, Rose. Next, we've got our candidate for council, Jerry Roberts.
New residents are excited about our community spirit. You hear that everywhere we go in town. Communication is key as we break into more groups and grow. The Community Services Department of the town is working hard to connect to the various groups. As a volunteer recruiter, many of you know me. So we have a lot of fun volunteering. We can have even more fun being Carstairs and you get together in events and share stories amongst all of us. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Dara Solanders.
All right, so if you talk to somebody who moved here in the 70s, they would have told you that they wanted the town to stop growing. Talk to somebody in the 90s who moved here, they said the same thing, and it's still being said today. I agree that our small town charm is more about the people and not the number of people. I'd like to promote communication, engaging new residents, getting neighbors of all ages involved in our community, in activities and events around our community, bringing new things. With new people come new ideas. Let's get together and make these things happen. Growth can continue, but diversification of land uses, promoting more industrial, commercial, higher density, translating to lower cost housing for and more variety for seniors who want to remain near family and friends. And in my opinion, past council promoted red tape reduction and speedy processing of applications. And that.
Thank you, Dara. Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Karen Fall.
Carstairs does have a strong small town character and a deep sense of community. Our identity comes from both our history and our everyday life, from our heritage buildings, traditions to volunteers and local businesses and events that brings together. Beef and Barley Days, Heritage Festival, Crazy Christmas, all reflect the heart of our town. Part of council's role is to help keep the spirit alive by supporting volunteers, showing up, investing in their green spaces, recreation, and keeping Main Street visible and viable. As new development happens, we need to make sure that it adds to our community's character, not takes away from it. We don't want to slow development because development leads to affect our budget and tax revenue. At the end of the day, Carstairs' identity is about connection, protecting what is reality, and supporting the people and places that make it home.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Sheldon Ball.
Part of maintaining our authentic small town community is making sure that we have a safe small town for people to live in. Now that we've reached a population of 5,000 people, policing is going to become a big issue for us. We need to be creative in how we come up with a contract to provide full-time policing in town, as well as how we provide the building that they're going to use to provide that service. And can we expand on that ability with that building to draw in other policing resources that we don't necessarily have to pay for, but demonstrates that the small town that you're living in is still safe because we have a large police presence.
Okay, we give some credit to the candidates here for moving things along very smoothly. Well, thank you so much for making my job easy here. We've got one more question before we move into our closing statements. This question is, at the end of your 4-year term, what is one concrete result residents will be able to point at as proof that you've done your job well? At the end of your 4-year term, what is one concrete result residents will be able to point at as proof that you've done your job well?
At the end of the 4-year term, I would see in-camera time cut from 40% to a reasonable number of 10 to 15%. That is too much time spent behind closed doors with no public knowledge whatsoever. I would also like to see, or at the end of 4 years, I would also see the minutes fully within the letter of the law. I would seek full transparency on council meetings. I would also see those council meetings live streamed every time.
Next, we have our candidate for mayor, Dean Allen.
Together this next 4 years, concrete thing I want to see have done, first off, is have the RCMP contract done, have the building built and have it in town. Having a safety factor for our residents is important. That's the other thing, is to make sure that, our staff is keeping everything clean, everything pristine. Thank you.
I will repeat the question for our councilors. At the end of your 4-year term, what is one concrete result residents will be able to point at as proof that you have done your job well?
I think right off the bat, the infrastructure has to be there for all this growth. It keeps me up at night a little bit. Roads, water, sewer, stoplights. I think that's key that I would like to contribute, and recreational opportunities for everyone. Memorial Arena is the heartbeat of our town recreationally. It needs some love. Things are gonna start going awry there if we don't start supporting it a little better. And I would really hope that things like an indoor field house are being talked about, another sheet of ice is being talked about. Those are very capital spending projects that take a lot of effort, not just from one councillor, but from the whole team and from developers and citizens alike. So if at the end of 4 years, we got a shovel in the ground over at Memorial and the infrastructure is there to support all this new development, I'd be ecstatic. Oh, and thanks for voting me in to do that.
Thank you to Karen Tully. Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Glenda Alexander.
Thank you. I think that at the end of the 4-year term, what I would like to be able to say that's a concrete thing that people can be proud of is community growth, because I think that our growth is going to happen whether we want it to or not. So let's have diversification in our community. I sincerely support different housing models so that we can live and stay in our community throughout our lives. It'd be great for grandma and grandpa to just walk down the street, in the next community to visit their grandchildren and not have to go drive to larger locations. So I think sustainable growth that includes industrial and commercial to keep our taxes affordable is very, very important. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Angie Frick.
Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a data nerd, so one of my biggest things would be advocacy. So representing our community beyond borders, it's about building a strong partnership regionally and provincially to ensure our voice is heard where decisions are made. We can't work in isolation, so we need to learn from other communities and share ideas to help make us stronger. It also means doing the groundwork at home, such as all the reports we did this year, such as the municipal census, which was the first time ever in our history that we did that. I would also like to have the seniors housing facility established. I think at this point, Minister Nixon is very annoyed with how many times I've talked to him about this, but it's something that I want established here. I want policing established, and I'm a results-driven professional, and I would just love to see that here in our community. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Jennifer Masson.
Over the last few years since moving back to Carstairs, I've watched as my parents have had friends and family have to leave to go get the care that they need as they age. And so I would love to work with council and see a 4-stage care facility come to Carstairs so that our seniors that have spent their lives here and have invested all their time and energy here would be able to stay. So that is what I would love to be a part of and have my name tagged to at the end of 4 years. Obviously, RCMP and seeing more commercial industrial growth come and being able to have more recreational facilities would be great as well, but my heart is for the seniors. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Rhonda Kramer Wise.
Well, everyone, when I decided that I was going to run, I had 3 major topics. One was food, one was police, and one was public. Of course, our waste, we now have a new lagoon. So that is now being functioning after 5,000 people. The police station has to come in, whether we like it or not, we have to build. And then for public, we want to keep people here. We want them to stay here when they're not working. We don't want them to go somewhere else to put their business or their money elsewhere. So I have recommended that signage that's at the corner of the first set of lights in town that tells people what's going on in town. And then also the webpage, to get that town webpage to expand. We also need more security. And right now we have off-site cybersecurity, but we need a coder on staff. Someone who, because we're getting so big, they can make.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Sorry.
Next, we've got our candidate for council, Shannon Wilcox.
Thank you. So I can only choose one measure that I was a success in 4 years. So being that school and seniors housing would be under the provincial purview, and certainly we would keep advocating, I would say I would like to improve communication. We do have land use that allows for mixed use housing in town. We do have land set aside for commercial and light industrial, but I don't know that that information is getting through to you. Especially with new developments, I think that there's a bit of a break in communication between council and with residents. I think that perhaps that's more public engagement so that you know where that information is found. Right now, we are sharing information through every channel we possibly can, but I think we need to solve for X. What's not landing, what's not connecting, so that you all feel very comfortable that you know what's coming, that you can entrust in us, that we are looking around corners, that we do have a vision for the future. So I think that at the end of 4 years, I would like to know that you know where to find the information and how to engage with council so that you understand and have the answers that you need to feel comfortable with the next steps.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Rose Gordon.
2 things. I want to bring in a visitor's guide to Carstairs. So imagine a brochure that you get with a little map of Carstairs, a highlight of all your wonderful businesses in Carstairs, and possibly a little recap of Beef and Barley Days and the schedule. So this will help create, it helps promote the business in town, helps bring in public. It brings in everyone as tourists, and then they can leave, so they don't have to stay here, right? So it brings in that business and that economy for that event. I would also love to see, we've had a beautiful, wonderful newsletter come out from the town, called Inside Our Authentic Small Town. I would love to see this emailed out to everyone or available by print. It's just connecting the dots together. The information is there, but it's just how do we relate that to the public? So great newsletter, by the way. You gotta check it out, it's on the website.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Jerry Roberts.
Yes, in the past, I've led efforts for recreation development in town. I've also worked on business attraction for the town. But what I would like to deliver in the next 4 years is the work with my fellow councillors to manage the net road, to make sure that it's nowhere near the ceiling that some other communities have.
Next, we've got our candidate for council, Era Salanders.
This is a very exciting question, and I have a few things on my list. First of all is open and transparent communication with residents. Meaning nobody's gonna say, I emailed or called counselors and no one responded. Also, if a resident has a valid concern with development or communication from somebody at the town, they feel like they've been heard. Whether they got the result that they were looking for or not, at least they feel like they were heard. My second point is a seniors housing facility. I see so many of our seniors moving out of town, moving away from family, moving away from their friends and their community. And to be able to have a facility here where they can age in place, still have some comforts of their hometown would be fabulous. We could wait for Mountain View Seniors Housing to provide that to us, or we could go and find a private provider who can put, we can put efforts into it.
Thank you, Era. Next, we have our candidate for council, Cameron Fall.
This thing doesn't stop after the election date. I've heard from a lot of residents who've reached out about bylaw, property issues, or other concerns. They never got a call back or update. I get why that's frustrating. It shouldn't happen. I want to see closed loop communication. If someone takes time to raise a concern, they should know three things: that it was received, what's being done about it, and the outcome, or possible, or what next steps might need to be done. Accountability means closing the loop, making sure people aren't left wondering what happened after they spoke up. At the end of the day, good communication and accountability come down to respect. If residents take the time to speak up, they deserve to know it mattered.
Next, we've got our candidate for councillor, Sheldon Ball.
Yeah, I would like to see a lot of those capital projects come to fruition as well in the next 4 years with policing and seniors housing, but most importantly, that we're able to effectively put those pieces in place and still be positioned financially where we're in a good place to move the town forward. A lot of the decisions that we make today actually don't really come to fruition where you see the benefits of them until 15 or 20 years from now. And I know that because I've been doing this for a while. So if you're making good decisions as a council, you're going to start seeing those benefits that have set up future councils well for the future.
Okay, well, that concludes our public question. We're now going to move into the final portion of our forum for the council and mayoral candidates. We've asked them to prepare closing statements, and at this moment, I would like to invite candidate for mayor Eric Bester to speak.
If not now, when? We, with this council, they say that they are doing certain things. We are attracting this, we're working on this. If not now, when? Because in 4 years, there have been multiple things that have slipped by. There are multiple questions that have been unanswered to multiple people. There have been issues with transparency that have been asked and there haven't been answers. If not now, when? This can't continue to just be pushed down the road further and further and further. We need change and we need it now.
Next, I would like to invite our candidate for mayor, Dean Howard.
Thank you all for coming tonight. Mission is to help build a community that will offer quality of life that people of all ages can enjoy. Prepare for future expansion, keeps Carstairs safe and clean, working as a team of the citizens of Carstairs, council, staff, community groups, and other levels of government, serving the citizens of Carstairs with honesty and integrity, making Carstairs the town of your choice. My name is Dean Allen. I hope to have your support to become the next mayor of Carstairs. The advance poll is tomorrow. Election day is October 20th. Thank you and have a great night.
Next is our candidate for council, Cameron Dolan.
I believe the next 4 years are vital, in getting our town prepared for all the growth that's about to happen. I don't want to see any more wavy roads where kids can use the manholes as bike jumps. I don't want to see any more bad intersections. We should get to a point where Memorial Arena gets so busy that only primary user groups get to use it. council will need to work together to ensure that we're not caught flat-footed this growth. And that the resources are in place for all age groups of this town. I will fight for that. I will support other councillors who wish for the same thing. And in the end, if council's strong, the community is strong around it as well. I thank everyone here for putting up their hand to run. But I hope that you vote for me on October 20th.
Next, we've got our candidate for council, Glenda Alexander.
Carstairs has now become the community of choice along the QE2, and we're experiencing exponential growth that is not expected to slow. Residents and business owners alike are deserving of a well-informed and dedicated council who is forward-thinking when planning our new communities, ensuring that we have multiple housing opportunities so that we can all age in place. This will require sustainable infrastructure, programs and services within an affordable tax base that is additionally supported by retail and commercial and industrial growth. I'm confident that my business experience will be of value in making the right decisions. I will consistently make myself available to listen to your concerns and be your voice, lobbying for you to maintain Carstairs as the small town, safe family community that we all love. I thank you very much for attending and appreciate your support.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Angie Frick.
It has been an incredible privilege to serve you for the past 4 years, a community that has welcomed me and continues to inspire me every day. As we look ahead, Carstairs stands at a defining moment. We are positioned to capture new opportunities and shape a future that reflects the best of who we are. My vision is simple but bold, for Carstairs to be the envy of small towns in Alberta. Not because of our size, but because of our strength, our unity, and our people, our greatest asset. Over the past 4 years, we've built momentum. We've proven what steady, experienced leadership can achieve, but there's more work to do to keep Carstairs growing responsibly and moving forward. We need leadership that understands where we've been and knows how to get us where we're going. When your council succeeds, our entire community succeeds. So on October 20th, vote for proven leadership. Vote to keep building a strong future for Carstairs. Vote for Angie Frick.
Next, we've got our candidate for councillor, Jennifer Basson.
As your counselor, I'll strive to do what is best for the future of our community and for its residents. I understand the important milestones that we need to meet, and I will continue to listen to your feedback and engage and be an active part of our community. Teamwork is what has brought Carstairs this far, and I want to be a part of the team that will continue to make our town the best small town in Alberta. Thank you, and I hope that I am one of the 6 people that you will choose to represent you in council on October 20th. Thank you for coming.
Next, we've got our candidate for councillor, Rhonda Kramer-Wise.
Thank you. Protection is top priority in the next phase. The new lagoon is to accommodate our growth. What happens next? We need to develop tools to move forward that did not exist 10 years ago. There are resources, grants available. Possible for mental care, friendship center, giving STEP program, student employment.
Well, the town has to be over. Sorry, yeah, keep going.
Yeah, it's just technical difficulties. We can.
I advocate for healthy participation, build intentional friendships as there is a past always trying to draw you back. As we share our heritage, you share yours, we become intertwined, integrated. I want to make our community a place for freedom to live and have peace. Live, work, and play safely in a physically responsible manner. Transparency is the key. We need innovation for potential growth. We want to protect our natural resources. We councillors need to represent the community. We are your voice. Thank you kindly for listening, finding connection within our town. Vote Kramer-Wise on the 20th.
Thank you. Next, we've got our candidate for council, Sharon Wilcox.
Thank you. I've worked hard to be a steady, thoughtful voice, listening, collaborating, and making decisions with care and purpose. I'm as engaged at the council table as I have been and will continue to be in the community. I'm proud of the work our council, administration, and town staff have accomplished together. From our new fire hall to our completed census to strong financial management. We sit in an enviable position as a community. As we begin the next chapter of Carstairs' story, I'm excited for the opportunities ahead to plan wisely, manage growth responsibly, and to personally continue leading by example with community involvement, like so many of you, ensuring the legacy of our authentic small town that makes Carstairs so special lives on. With your vote, I will continue to serve with care, dedication, and integrity, planning today, protecting tomorrow. I thank you for your engagement this evening. I thank all of you who are on stage tonight as well. Vote Shannon Wilcox on October 20th. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for Councillor Rose Borden.
I kindly ask for your vote. I ask you to follow your inner trust and knowing. I ask to do the greatest good for as many people as possible. And if this is the right position for me, your votes will tell. You see for me what I cannot see for myself. I am here to give a voice for those who cannot speak, to read and interpret the policies which no one wants to, yet I find delightful, and I am here to change what I can. I thank Mayor Lance Colby for his years of dedicated service, and I thank the existing council for making Carstairs the beautiful town that it is today. And I thank each candidate for putting themselves out there. It has been a pleasure to walk this path alongside with you. A reminder that you don't have to put 6 names down. You can vote up to 6, but if you only support a few names, it's okay to vote less than 6. Please follow your gut. And thank you for your time.
Next, we've got our candidate for council, Jerry Roberts.
As I said earlier, it's been a privilege to participate on council the last 4 years. But there's still work to be done. We are required to have our own police force now. There are many options to pursue and decisions to be made. It's not going to be easy work, but we can get it done. There is much needed work to be done on seniors housing. We have the land set aside. We have the commitment. We just need the money to make it happen. Expanding cultural opportunities is an interest of mine. The town of Sundre is an example of where we can borrow ideas from. The government of Alberta sets the debt limit of how much money the town of Carstairs can borrow. We're only at 20% of that limit, which is fantastic for our community. I want to be part of managing the sustainable growth for Carstairs. Thanks for coming out tonight, and we'll talk again.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Darius Landers.
My promises to you are first, transparency and communication. I will be proud to shout from the rooftops the wonderful things our council is up to. I will always answer your calls, emails, and questions on the street, and will willingly engage in uncomfortable conversations. I look forward to spirited conversation and decision-making at the council table. Second, structured and planned growth, including strategic commercial and industrial growth to offset residential taxes, higher density housing, which will bring balance to the cost of housing and allow our young adults, seniors, and neighbors to grow into their next era, close to those they love in their work. And third, economic development, which will promote our fabulous community to companies who can bring diversity to our shopping experience and employment opportunities. I'm Darius Landers, and on October 20th, I'd be honored to earn your vote. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for council, Cameron Fall.
Thank you to everyone involved to make this evening happen. Carstairs has grown, and with that comes opportunity and responsibility. If elected, I bring a steady, practical voice to council, someone who collaborates, builds on what's working, finds common grounds, and focuses on results. That means supporting local business, finding growth that fits our town, and making sound fiscal decisions, keeping Carstairs strong for the long term. It means ensuring Carstairs remains a community where everyone can feel connected and thrive, from families just starting out to seniors who've been here their whole lives. Over the past few weeks, it's been a privilege to meet so many of you and to hear your ideas and concerns. The best ideas start with listening, and that's how I will lead. No matter who you feel is right for the job, I encourage you to vote. Your voice keeps this community strong. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for councillor, Sheldon Ball.
You know, I was gonna use that they save the best till last. At some point. Thank you all for coming out tonight. It's been a privilege to sit up here with our fellow candidates and speak a little bit It's been a privilege to serve for you over the last 30 years. And I'm running for re-election because I think we face some pretty big decisions coming up in the near future, and I think experience is gonna matter. So on October 20th, I ask for your vote one more time for Sheldon Ball. Thank you.
Could we please get a round of applause for that? Now, would you believe that we're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, which is nice. Now, we are going to switch over to our question period for our school trustees. I will ask our mayoral and councillor candidates to step down from the stage. And I will invite our candidates for school trustees up. Thank you.
See how this goes? Okay.
We'll get those cats, and if you are having some cats, it's can't wait, you're welcome to take those conversations outside. We are going to begin right now our question period for our school board trustees. I'll just go over the rules again one more time nicely, and that is to ensure that we are practicing what I call intellectual hospitality. That means that we are listening to people well. We are allowed to disagree with them, but we have to do so silently until another time. So I encourage everybody who is not interested to hurry and to move their chatter outside so that those who are interested in this important position and what they have to say can listen to these good people who are there. That is enough for me. I would now like to invite Andrea Morgan to give her opening statement. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me in the back? Yes, excellent. My name is Andrea Morgan. I'm running for school board trustee. As a mom of 3, I see firsthand the strengths and challenges in our school. I decided to run because I care deeply about student safety, responsible spending, and planning for the future of our communities. My priorities are clear. I want to see a new high school built in Carstairs, additions to the Pomona School, and real solutions for safe traffic flow and a proper bus loop. I believe funding should be directed where it makes the greatest impact in our classrooms, supporting students and teachers, and put towards those areas that we see needed and resources. I'm committed to bringing common sense, collaboration, transparency to the board. Because of our schools deserve thoughtful planning, and our kids deserve the very best opportunities close to home.
Thank you. I would like to encourage people having conversations to take those conversations outside. Thank you. Next, we have our candidate for school board trustee, Emma McEachran.
Good evening. My name is Emma McEachran, and I'm so excited to be here tonight to discuss my candidacy for school board trustee, Chinook's Edge School Division, Ward 9. I would like to start by thanking the Carstairs Chamber of Commerce for hosting this event this evening. I believe a robust, publicly funded public education should be available to all students from all walks of life. I came to the decision to run for this role due to a growing concern over how our government was attacking our most vulnerable students with divisive policies, while also failing to recognize the amazing hard work of our teachers. There is a clear need for more infrastructure and added supports to deal with classroom complexities. We are at a time that requires strong voices to address chronic underfunding of public education in Alberta. These issues need to be addressed directly with the government through advocacy and lobbying. I am prepared to be that strong voice for our kids and for our community.
Next, we have our candidate for school board trustee, Melissa Copley.
Thank you to everyone participating here tonight, especially my fellow candidates, for enriching the conversation around education. In the years prior to my first term running for trustee, I recognized the need for broader understanding of infrastructure, programming, and industry preparedness in education. It was 6 years of active involvement as a mom of 4 before I ran for trustee the first time. It was because of that active involvement before jumping into the role that I was successful in term 1 in the expansion of Carstairs Elementary and the additional land at Hugh Sutherland property. The property now has over 22 acres and is ready for the next phase of development. We need a new high school, we need to convert the existing school to a middle school, and we need to get the bus loop off the highway. None of us up here can promise a new build. However, setting these pieces in motion is a journey, one that I have been on with many of you in this room for the past decade. In that decade, we have also experienced.
Axe comes fast. That's okay, you've got many more chances to speak. So I would like to begin a round of questions. This time I will just ask the question twice, so please listen carefully. What do you see as the biggest challenge facing our schools in the next 4 years, and how would you address it? The question again is, what do you see as the biggest challenge facing our schools in the next 4 years, and how would you address it? Next, we have our candidate for School Board Trustee, Andrea Morton.
I think it's pretty clear that we are growing and our schools are getting a little snug. We definitely need a larger high school, and with that school comes new resources, new technology, new things that help our children for their futures. And I find that it's important that we invest in that because they're our future. We need to see something done in terms of dealing with the space, with the staff that's needed, with the programming that's required. There's so many challenges that can come with, like, it's not even one. How can we do this in a minute? I worry that if somebody doesn't speak up and if somebody isn't a voice and that things don't change the way they have been, then nothing will change in the next 4 years. And so I'm hoping to be that voice.
Next, we have our candidate for School Board Trustee, Emma McEachran.
To echo Andrea's point, my main concern is absolutely funding and lack thereof. I think with the teacher strike, I think we all know that the teachers striking at the moment is, they put up a lot of really great momentum, and we need to keep on that momentum to get the government to listen. We need a strong voice who isn't afraid to stand up for the government at the time, and UCP, NDP, whoever that is, to demand that our schools are properly funded so that we can get the appropriate resources for our students and our teachers. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate for School Board Trustee, Melissa Copley.
The vision of a new high school is simple. We can build and partner with our municipality that is a building that is accessible and inspiring for all of our community members. I suspect many of you are wondering why I would want to convert HSS to a middle school. The answer is simple. We can add a breadth of programming to that building that would not be standard in a middle school build. Over the past 8 years, we have added over 67 options for our grade 5 and 8, like welding and international foods. We have worked to build connections with homeschool families seeking alternative options to education, both for academic, sport, and interest-based learning. Further, our dual credit RAP and green certificate programs, or our unique programming like Flight School, allow our high school kids to explore their future while growing up in our community. At CES and across the division, supporting initiatives like outdoor classrooms and makerspaces gives our kids the joy of exploration and prepares them for the future challenges. This is what sets them up for success, and this is what's important to our community.
Thank you, Melissa. Okay. We're going to move on to our next question. This one is a little bit longer, so I'm going to encourage people to listen carefully here. Many people aren't aware of the complex issues that come up in our communities surrounding education and extracurricular activities, especially considering the variety of options available in Carstairs, Cremona, and Mountview County. Can you share your thoughts on the challenges that have been faced in recent years relating to kids in various styles of learning and their needs in terms of academics and extracurricular opportunities? Again, many people aren't aware of the complex issues that come up in our communities surrounding education and extracurricular activities, especially considering the variety of options available in Carstairs, Cremona, and Mountview County. Can you share your thoughts on the challenges that have been faced in recent years relating to kids in various styles of learning and their needs in terms of academics and extracurricular opportunities? I would like to invite Andrea Morton.
That's a very long question. I believe Carstairs is really special because I'd like to think that they create programming for all kids in all ages, for needs and whatnot. And so there's a lot of inclusion with that. And people are very supportive and people are very open to adapting the learning to make sure that everyone is able to keep up or be involved. And I think that has been really crucial even for our family in particular, who've gone through our own little
raising kids, right? They have their own struggles and everything. And I think watching the community kind of come close together and to see everybody support each other and supporting those youth through the programming has helped them not just in extracurricular, but in school and the volunteers and the endless hours that people put in. So it really is just a community that is sweet.
Next, we have Emma McEachran.
Hi there, thank you. My kiddos are still young, so I don't have firsthand experience with this. But I would say making sure that we have community groups available to keep students from all learning styles, able to communicate with one another. So whether that's through, if they're learning at our public school, a nearby Catholic school or homeschool, do they have the opportunities to get together? Also, do we have the infrastructure in town to keep sports and activities here so that they're not having to travel outside of the town to participate in those activities would be really important as well. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate, Melissa Copeland.
Over the past 4 years, I've worked really hard on programs such as the Joint Use Program, which is a connection between our municipality and access for our students. That's allowed sports clubs to expand in our community, volleyball associations. That's allowed the high school to add those 67 options for our grades 5 to 8, as well as work directly with Olds College for our high school kids. We've also done a bunch of work with homeschool programming, and now we actually have a Carstairs football team that has a majority of homeschool kids on it, because that's important for them to be connected to their community, their neighbors, their kids. We have flexible programming in our high school and in our elementary school that allows figure skaters to take 2 months off to go do what they love to do, that allows rodeo kids to take time off to do what they need to do. This allows them to learn, grow, and be active.
Excellent. So we've got one more question here. How do you intend to ensure that you are representing the people in your ward? Again, how do you intend to ensure that you are representing the people in your ward?
Through transparency. Transparency builds trust. And as a trustee, I would push for clear communication about why decisions are made, how they're made, the effects that they have on the students and staff, and what outcomes that we're going to see and are seeing. Parents and teachers shouldn't have to dig for information. They just need to be informed and heard. And they also, they just need to be listened to. People need to be heard. And I think that has probably been one of the biggest things when door knocking and talking to people. They've just been grateful that someone is listening. And I would just take this moment before closing statements to thank my candidates with me, because if anything, we are informing the community about what a school trustee is and what we can do for the community.
Thank you. That was our candidate, Andrea Morton, or Anderson's. Next, we have our candidate, Emma McEachran.
Thank you. So transparency is also a key priority for me. When looking online for minutes to the school board or school board trustee meetings, we shouldn't only get a little blurb about what decision was made, and we should be able to know what stakeholders' opinions were taken into consideration and how that decision was made. That's really important for me as a parent and as our community as well. I think that's it. Thank you.
Next, we have our candidate, Melissa Copeland.
Each term is building on a foundation of relationships, ideas, and goals. As I stated in my opening, I recognize the need for broader understanding of infrastructure, programming, and industry preparedness. Over the past 8 years, I've continued to lay the foundation for those topics and many others, considering the opinions of community members throughout that journey. You may share your opinion with me at a parent council, at the back of the arena, over coffee, or even in the backyard fire. Know that I'm always listening and that I take those opinions and work to weave them into that foundation. Over the years, and as an example, I have worked to enhance transparency in transportation and board communications. Some of those changes taking effect as recently as today's board meeting. I'm here to support you, your kids, our community, and this division in education.
We will now move forward for our final statements. I would like to welcome Andrea Morton.
At the end of the day, I'm running because I'm a mom who cares deeply about our kids and our community. I've seen what's working and what needs attention, and I want to be a voice for families who just want safe schools, good communication, and the rights to support in place. I believe in practical, community-driven solutions and accountability. Together, we can make sure our schools reflect the values and priorities of the people they serve. We need to invest in our children because they are our future.
Next, I invite Emma McEachran to give her final statement.
I thank community members as well as my fellow candidates for taking the time to be here this evening. It's really important that we have these conversations. My favorite part about running in this election so far has been meeting so many new community members and having these conversations at the doors. I thank the community for being so engaged in public education at such a crucial time. I believe that a well-rounded public education is the backbone to a strong community and strong democracy. I look forward to continuing having these conversations with educators, students, parents, and community members to learn more about the struggles specific to our communities. If elected, I will work hard alongside other board members to ensure all students across the board have access to a valuable education that prepares them to be lifelong learners and well-rounded community members. I will always be an advocate for inclusive education that provides for all students. I am prepared to bring a fresh perspective and be a loud supporter for public education.
Thank you, Emma. Finally, I would like to invite our candidate Melissa Copley to give her final statement.
For those of you that have spoken with me directly, you have seen the excitement and passion I bring to the conversation of education. In my daily work, I'm submerged in new and advancing technologies and bring perspective that encourages growth on hands-on learning, embracing change, and willingness to try new things. I recognize the need for flexible choices and passion-based learning, community involvement, and personal exploration. Operational excellence is achieved through the teachers, the support staff, and the administrators in our school. I cannot take credit for the great work that they do every day, but I can support them in strategy guidance and ideation. Adding programming to our schools, creating connected, deep-rooted partnerships locally as well as across the division provides us with a dynamic and vibrant education system. It is with these considerations in mind that I would appreciate your vote tomorrow or on October 20th. Thank you. That was really fast. This whole thing is really fast.
Could we please get a round of applause for Could we get a round of applause for everyone listening so nicely? Good work, everyone. We do still have a little bit of time left, so we can all show our community spirit by helping clean up. Well, I think we've got the building rented until 10 to the hour. So I encourage the candidates to stick around and for people to get interface with them and so we can all have a chance to meet each other. Thank you.